sermon. He's the associate priest at St. James Episcopal Church, and I'll ask you to please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Mayor, members of the City Council, thank you for inviting me. For those who wish to, let us pray. Almighty God, creator and sustainer of life, thank you for the splendor of the whole creation, for the beauty of this world and the wonder of life and the mystery of love. Thank you for the people of Fairhope who all call this place home, who are gathered here today, and those entrusted with its leadership. Thank you for setting us at tasks which demand our best efforts and for leading us to accomplishments for the betterment of this city and its people, and be in the midst of all our hopes not yet realized. Send down upon those who hold office in the city the spirit of wisdom, charity, and justice, that with steadfast purpose they may faithfully serve their offices to promote the well-being of all people. Lord, be with and comfort those who are sick and suffering in our own community and throughout the whole world. Bring peace in the midst of our fears and help us to care for those most vulnerable among us. Sanctify, O Lord, those whom you have called to the study and practice of the arts of healing and the prevention of disease and pain. Strengthen them by your life-giving spirit, that by their ministries the health of the community may be promoted and to your creation glorified. God, you have bound us together in a common life. Help us in the midst of our struggles for justice and truth to confront one another without hatred or bitterness, but to work together with mutual respect, truly seeing each other as neighbors. God, we ask all these things in your holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you, Reverend Sermon. Appreciate that. First order of business tonight will be to approve the minutes of the regular city council meeting, the work session, the agenda meetings which were held on February 27th. Council, do you have any additions or changes to those minutes? Deletions? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve as
So
submitted.
moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as submitted. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Okay, minutes are approved. Thank you, council. Mayor Wilson, your report, please.
I'm actually not going to have one tonight. I mean, I do have a few things, but I did a lot of talking tonight, so.
Okay. Does that close your report for now?
Yes, it does.
All right. Next item is public participation for agenda items only. If you would like to speak to items 5 through 15 pertaining to the agenda, if you'll come to the podium and state your name and address for the record, we'll give you 3 minutes.
My name is Ken Niemeyer. I live at the corner of Fells and Mobile Street, 7 Fells Avenue. And I came tonight to speak on 2 in particular, number 8 and 14, regarding the lift station odor control funding and the odor control unit on Twin Beach Road. I would ask that each of you visit what's going on at the Fells Avenue project, especially in the evening. Walk around it and see that project. It's very disappointing and very discouraging. That site has emitted odors for years, and it also had numerous spills. So I'm very glad there's a new one going in, and I'm very glad that you're also addressing odor control. We've had that problem for years, depending on south wind or north wind as to which part of our neighborhood benefits. All of the tourists, many use the Trailblazer path that goes right by that station, which hopefully will no longer emit smells like it has for years. However, when you look at the visual of what has been constructed there, it's totally different from what was represented to me back in August by Mr. Peterson. And Mr. Peterson has acknowledged that it appears I had been misled, to quote him. It's sad to see that much of our park turned into a sewage pumping station. I know the colony was involved, and I've complained to them about their allowing the construction of that pumping station outside the existing utility easement, which is at the end of Fells Avenue. That's my complaint, and I hope each of you will look at it and assess it yourself as if you were a neighbor living with what has been noise that has been unremitting over the last 6 months, 7 months, with the equipment that is on the site, having at one point been replaced by some quieter pumps, but the loud pumps are back. I'm going to the beach every weekend to get away from that noise. Rest of my neighbors, I think, are staying put. Do you have any questions of me?
I will go and visit it.
I hope every one of you, including the mayor, thank you.
I walk by it all the time, but I won't
And
go
circle
today.
it while you're at it to see the path that the city has constructed around it.
Well, that is going to be redone. Yes.
But the maintenance of the site, the construction, the debris, that's before you get into the litter and the cigarettes and that other stuff. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone else for agenda items? Okay, I will close public participation for agenda items and move on to council comments. Councilman Robinson?
No comment.
Councilman Conyers?
No comment. I think we've covered it in the work session.
Councilman Brown?
No comment.
Councilman Boone?
No comment.
I will just say for the whole, I know I speak for the mayor and the entire council that, making the recommendation to postpone the Arts and Crafts Festival this year was probably one of the most difficult ones that we will ever make as we sit up here, and knowing the importance that it has to this community was very just, heartbreaking, as several people put it. So I hope that people will understand the reasons and move on, and hopefully we'll get past this scare that we have going through the country right now and be better off for it. Item number 5 is an ordinance of annexation. It's the City of Fairhope property located at the intersection of County Road 13 and County Road 32. This contains 113.83 acres, more or less. Can I have someone introduce the ordinance, please?
I'll introduce the ordinance.
Okay, council, this is just the rec land that the city recently purchased. This is adjacent to existing City of Fairhope land, not owned by, but it's adjacent to, it's contiguous with property within the City of Fairhope limits. So I would ask you to maybe even possibly expedite this. I don't think that we're not going to bring this into the city. If somebody wants to make a motion to suspend with the rules and vote for immediate consideration, or we can let this lay over until the next meeting.
I'll make a motion, we suspend with the rules and consider.
Second.
Consideration.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to suspend with the rules and vote on immediate consideration. Any discussion on that? Okay, hearing none, clerk, will you call the question?
Council President?
Aye.
Place 2,
Aye.
place 3,
Aye.
place 4, place 5.
Aye.
Okay, the motion carries in. For final adoption, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for final adoption. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, clerk, will you call the question, please?
Council President?
Aye.
Place 2,
Aye.
place 3,
Aye.
place 4, place 5.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you, council. Item 6 is a resolution. The city council supports House Bill 209 to permit a dog in an outdoor dining area of a food establishment under certain conditions, and hereby lobbies the Alabama State Legislature to adopt its passage. The city council directs the clerk to forward copies of this enacted resolution to the City of Fairhope State Legislative Delegation in the League of Municipalities. I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I would just say that for anyone watching, that this would give the restaurant owners with the outdoor seating the right to determine whether or not they wanted to allow dogs and, I guess, cats to dine with their owners.
Right.
I didn't know it was cats either.
Well, but it does say that on here, dog and cat community, so.
So I would just, echo what Councilman Conyers just said, is that if it's your restaurant and you're unhappy, let the owner know. Don't let the council know, please, or you can, but this is just support of the bill that gives them the right And if you're in favor of it, also let that restaurant know, and thank them for that if that's just something that you would desire to do. Any other comments? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Okay, motion carries. Thank you, council. Item 7 is a resolution the city council hereby approves and amends the rules and regulations for the Fairhope docks by adding the following to the end of the number 13. The owner's boat must be maintained in a clean and tidy manner. Storage of supplies or personal items shall not be permitted on the decks. Ms. Mazur, does anybody need Ms. Mazur to explain this, just a minor change to the agreements?
I make a motion we approve as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Okay, motion carries. Item number 8 is a resolution to award the bid for the lift station odor control chemicals for the sewer department to LL Associates doing business as Chem Station Gulf Coast with an estimated annual cost of $224,475 or $5.70 per metered gallon. I will entertain a motion for this purchase.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Okay, the motion carries. Thank you. Item number 9 is a resolution. The City of Fairhope approves the procurement of an underground fault detector. This is the Easy Thump model, and you can read all those letters and numbers for yourself for the electric department from Megger Incorporated, which is a sole source for Megger Easy Thump CFL units, with a total cost of $18,211.50, which includes the warranty, certificate of calibration, and additional clamps. I'll entertain a motion for the procurement.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Okay, the motion carries. Thank you, council. Item number 10 is a resolution, the City of Fairhope vote to procure a D10 by 1583 Navigator boring machine at $137,111 and a Felling FT-141 drop deck drill series trailer at $9,576.68 for all utilities. The equipment is available for direct procurement through the Sourcewell Public Utility Contract, which has been nationally bid. Therefore, it does not have to be let out for bid with a total cost of $146,687.68. I'll entertain a motion for the purchase.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. And these are budgeted items, if anybody's wondering. So we're moving through these expenses pretty quickly. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of the purchases, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Okay, motion carries. Item 11 is a resolution, the City of Fairhope vote to purchase a 2020 Ford F-250 Crew Cab 4x2 pickup service truck for the wastewater department. This vehicle needed is on the Alabama State Department of Purchasing bid list, and therefore does not have to be let out for bid. A total cost of $27,101. This is a budgeted item, council. I entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Item 12 is a resolution, the City of Fairhope vote to purchase two 2020 Ford F-250 crew cabs, and it says super in there, but that's a typo. It should just say F-250 crew cab 4x2 pickup service truck for the water department. Is that the same? Oh, okay, that was wastewater. And the type of vehicle needed is on the Alabama State Department of Purchasing bid list. Therefore, it does not have to be let out for bid with a cost of $27,100 each for a total cost of $54,202. Entertain a motion for the purchases.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, please say nay. Okay, the motion carries. Thank you, council. Item 13 is a resolution, the City of Fairhope vote to procure services for labor to complete renovations to the clubhouse at Quail Creek Golf Course by Seal Quality Construction and renovations in the amount of $9,500, plus the city supplying the paint and supplies in the amount of $2,526.16 for a total project cost of $12,026.16. And this is just to finish up some interior repairs. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the expenses.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor of the resolution, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say nay. Okay, the motion carries. Item 14 is a resolution the City of Fairhope hereby approves the payment for the installation of odor control unit for the Twin Beach area for the wastewater department to Balcon Incorporated in the amount of $6,144, which was an unbudgeted expense, but one in which the people would be very happy if we approved tonight. I'll entertain a motion for this.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say nay. Okay, motion carries. Item 15 is a resolution, the City Council opposes the current form of House Bill 203 and opposes the introduction of any further bills to create landmark districts within Baldwin County until the aforementioned issues in this resolution are agreed upon and worked out to the mutual satisfaction of all affected parties, and request that this resolution be provided to each member of the Baldwin County Legislative Delegation and to other interested members of the Alabama Legislature. Mayor Wilson, may I ask you, you were involved in with other mayors in the county opposing these landmarks, and I believe there was quite a few, if not all.
I'm still waiting to hear back from 2, but 12 of the 14 have agreed, and I think as soon as I'm able to talk to the others,
Okay.
It'll be a unanimous.
Okay. And Councilman Robinson, in this language, on the third paragraph where it says, whereas the sole basis for creation of a landmark district appears to be to prohibit a municipality from annexing property within the landmark district by a local action of the legislator, you had a comment about that?
Well, I just, it doesn't change the outcome that you're voting to oppose the legislation, and because that language appears to say that we are almost guessing as to exactly why they decided to try to form it, I just thought it was cleaner to leave that sentence out.
Mayor, were you going to make a comment? I'm
I
sorry.
mean, that addition is part of this bill is taking away that right for current municipalities.
Right.
And then giving it to any new municipality that would form in that district.
But I think maybe what his exception might be is that it says it's the sole basis, and I don't know that as a council we can, guess what their
okay.
sole basis is, and so
Right.
it doesn't really change the opposition to
Gotcha,
the
gotcha.
other. So I
Okay.
think that he was suggesting, rather than us,
Just leave that.
suggest that, just take that out. So does anybody have any problem with that? Taking that third whereas out? Okay, good catch. So I will go ahead and entertain a motion to oppose this bill.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I wanted to say one thing. I had heard some comments that, if there was a concern that we were going to go into this portion of the county and try to annex this through legislative act, I can tell you, I, for one, have no desire to try to annex, and I probably speak for the mayor and the entire council, people's residential or agricultural property through an act of the legislature. In fact, the only time that I know it's ever been done in the city of Fairhope was the Walmart was annexed by an act of the state legislature, and they are, surrounded by the city of Fairhope and use a tremendous amount of city of Fairhope resources, and it only makes sense. And it doesn't affect their business any. I don't think it affected the shoppers there. It did increase their sales tax by 1%, but it was only fair, and that's the only time. So any fear mongering put out there to the contrary, just to me, is not right. Any other comments? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Okay, motion carries. Public participation for non-agenda items. If you have anything else to bring forth before the council, you can come to the podium and state your name and address for the record.
Francis Rip, 22985 High Ridge Road with a RIP report. On the legislation, what I wonder is, why are we the last ones to know what's going on? These guys are going up there and introducing legislation. I don't hear anything about it prior to that. You're getting it on the rebound. Our legislators or our delegation should be coming to us first to speak about it before they go up there and do something like this. So, I mean, that should be a question that should be posed to them. I gave you a package tonight on Parker Road. That package has been given to AlDOT, to the county, planning department here, delivered one to the mayor. You're the last ones to get it. Last week I spoke with planning and zoning. Planning and zoning appreciates the problem that is going on up there. Traffic is going to be increasing through Montrose. You're going to see a lot of that real soon too. But you're going to have about 375 units on a 500-foot road. No one has mitigated that road since 2016, I think it was, with the traffic study. So you're opening up an apartment complex based on a traffic study that's 4.5 years old, and it's on the highway. It's not a traffic study on Parker Road, which is the one that's being impacted. Now, Parker Road's a county road, but 95, 99% of the road is impacted by city traffic. At one time, county tried to get the city to take it. That failed. Nothing has happened at all. Now, in planning and zoning, they were sympathetic and acknowledged the problem, but didn't come up with a solution. And what I'd like to suggest is that there be an updated traffic study for Parker Road. And if that study says that certain things need to be mitigated before giving it a certificate of occupancy, that's what should happen. If you give a certificate of occupancy on a partial thing, partially constructed, no mitigation on the road, you're going to have problems from day one. They're going to be cutting through Publix to get to the Parker Road light. We are already maxed out. Now, without a single car from what we think is going to be 1,200 to 1,500 cars coming down that road. Now, years ago, I would have said that Highway 13 would have been a good recourse to, cut through and alleviate it, but not now. Because you got so much construction on that side, what's going to happen is when you open that up, people are going to come again trying to get to Parker Road. There's no turn into Publix. There's no turn into the gas station. You got to go across a double yellow line. I mean, there's I'm not going to read the 5.5 pages, right? But it's all listed in there, and those are just some of the things. I'm not a highway engineer. That's just from the people that live in the neighborhood. But someone's got to address this. If y'all don't, you will be forced to, okay? Because it's going to get so bad. 2 or 3 times a day now, between 104 and 98, it's solid, 2 lanes. When it's like that, they don't let anybody out of Publix. I mean, they don't break that traffic to let them out of Publix, so you got them jammed up there on the 98 entrance. They have to wait for the light. Takes 7 cars to block, to go to the public exit. Only 7 cars. And if they're lined up, if somebody wants to go in the gas station, now you stop traffic coming in off 98 altogether, just with 8 or 9 cars. That's happening now. So the only thing that, given the limitations of planning and zoning and what's been approved and what's going on and everything else, the only thing I see the option is someone has to address the traffic. County's waiting on the city. City's waiting on the county. AlDOT's already made like 3 or 4 renovations to that intersection due to just the traffic that they're having to, mitigate now. So somebody wake up. Thank you.
Is there anyone else wishing to address the council? Okay, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
We have a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. All right, we're adjourned. Thank you, council.
Daydreaming.
I am too.